now we need to trigger this transition using the script. Okay, so enemy attack script, let's just double click to open this one. Alright, so at the top we have 3 booleans. I have axe, I have bat, I have knife. So we need a fourth one now. Control and C to copy, Control and V to paste. I have gun. Okay, so it's false to begin with, and obviously we can check that in the inspector. Now if we come down here to distance to player is less than the attack distance, we can just copy this final if, Control and C, and then Control and V. So now we're going to say if I have gun is equal to the value of true. Then we're going to set our anim.setBool gun attacks to true. And we're also going to set damaging to true. Nav chase speed and nav angular speed. Alright, so exactly the same as we've done previously. And we also need to do it when the condition is different. When the player is further away from the enemy, we need to undo that. So Control and C and Control and V, so I have gun. So we have to make sure that alert is still true, but this one is gun attacks is false and damaging is also false, and everything goes back to normal. Alright, good. So that's done for that script. So let's just save that. And let's go back to our scene and click on enemy 6 and just ensure that I have gun is checked. Alright, there we go. Now I can actually see that the distance to player is available in the inspector. Now we were only using that for preview purposes. So where I put it as a public float, haven't I? So I'm now going to change it to a private, because we don't need to see that. It's purely just for the computer to calculate the distance. So let's save that. Great, so then that updates and we can no longer see that at the bottom. That's good. So now can we get closer to the enemy, and let's click on the gun. Okay, there it is. Handgun with script, and it's obviously got a script which we have switched off. So what we're going to do in a minute, we're going to switch this on, but I just want to double click on the script and take a quick look at it. Okay, simple shoot script. There's a bunch of stuff commented out, but we're going to fix all this shortly. Okay, so just to explain what it's doing, it's got some sections where it's got a bullet prefab, a casing prefab, etc., muzzle flash. Now these are projectiles, so it's actually using a rigid body projectile, which is right here. So it's instantiating the muzzle flash, it's instantiating the casing release, and it's instantiating the bullet. So when we say instantiate, basically what we mean is it's spawning it in. It's creating a new object in the game at a specific position. In this case, the position is the barrel location, and it's setting both the position and the rotation right at the end of the gun. And then it's giving that bullet the rigid body, and it's simply adding force to that rigid body in the forward direction times by shot power, in this case 100. So it's forcing that rigid body projectile to simply go forward at 100 units per frame, I guess. Since it's not got a multiplier by time, that delta time, it is per frame instead of per second. Okay, so if we take a look at the simple shoot script, we can see that we've got this bullet prefab. If we just click on that, this is what our bullet looks like. That's obviously the casing, that's the full bullet, so you can see the bullet edge and the casing all as one. Okay, so we are going to need to do some work on this. It's actually got a sphere collider. If I can just drag this bullet into the scene a second. Let's double click on it to get a little bit closer so we can see it's already got a sphere collider. And that sphere collider is basically acting like a physical collider, so that it can hit things and then bounce off it and do things like that. So you probably don't want to turn that into a trigger, but you do want another collider on this. So if we go to component, physics, and put on, I'm going to put on a box collider as well. Okay, that's really big. So let's make this, what, about 0.3 maybe? Okay, so that's pretty big, probably too big actually. 0.2, let's try that. Yeah, that's not so bad. Just to ensure that it does actually hit the player. Now this trigger we are going to turn into, sorry, this collider we are going to turn into a trigger. And this is the one that's going to detect when it's hit the player. Okay, the other one is purely so it can bounce off stuff and look pretty cool. Okay, great. So what we need to do with that now, the bullet, is we just click and drag it back onto the bullet and it will automatically update. We can get rid of this bullet out of the scene now, so just delete it. If we click back on our bullet, we can see that now it's updated with that box collider.